Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Candace. In this video, I would like to show you what it looks like when a lettuce bolts and goes to seed, and how to harvest those seeds. Now, I usually don't save seeds for things like lettuce because they're just so inexpensive. I usually save seeds for things that are a little bit more costly, a little bit more rare, harder to get my hands on. But if any of you tried to order seeds this year, you saw that a lot of places were out of stock. A lot of people are gardening now because of the pandemic, and we don't know what next year holds. So I'm going to go ahead and save seeds for as many things as I possibly can, just in case. And whatever extra I have, I'll just share with friends and family. But I highly recommend, if you've not seed saved anything before, to at least try to save seeds for some of the things that you are growing this year, even if you think you may not want to grow it next year, or you don't think you'll have a problem getting your hands on the seeds. You just never know. This was an iceberg lettuce that it got too hot and it's going to seed now. And if you come in close, you can see that little bit of yellow on that one seed pod right there. That's what it does first. It makes the little yellow flowers, and then it begins to close up and makes these little pods here. Here's a quick look at what the flowers look like. This is another lettuce I'm letting go to seed. Then it will begin to open back up, and it will have almost like the, the dandelions, when those turn into those round white puff balls. This one is beginning to do it up here. So that one will be ready here soon. But I wanted to show you what it looks like before it's time to harvest them as well. Alright guys, so now you can see here that most of the seed pods have turned into these little white puff balls, and they are almost ready to harvest. Some of them are ready, but I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. I'm going to wait till most of them are ready. That way I can harvest them all at once. You can see on this other lettuce plant, or plants, that the yellow flowers have closed up, and they will turn into those little white puff balls soon. Now, we've been getting a lot of rain, so these plants got just bombarded with rain the last 2 days. So the lettuce seeds were pretty wet. I wanted to give them some time to dry on the plant before I harvested them. It's the next day now, and I believe the lettuce should be plenty dry enough to harvest. I do recommend using a really big bowl. That way, if they do begin to fall off, you at least have something to kind of try to catch them. I see a lot of people harvesting them whenever they look like this, but I actually prefer to wait until they have formed these little balls like these here, because then the seeds are all contained within. And then whenever you're trying to pull them off the plant, you don't have to really worry about, like today it's windy, and I don't have to worry about them kind of just flying everywhere. Alright, so I have found that whenever you find them with just a little bit of the fuzz at the end, which I think I've already got all of those, but I found that whenever they're really brown like this, but they have just the tiniest bit of the little white feathery fuzz at the end, then you can grab it like this. Sorry, my video cut out on me. But you can grab it like this with one hand in between two fingers, and then with your other hand grab on the little fuzzy stuff, and then when you pull, the hand that has like the fuzzy stuff will have all of the seeds still connected, and then you can just let go of this little ball thing and take your finger and like brush off the seeds right into the bowl. And then you don't have to worry about separating them from the little ball pod thing. Like this one is a little bit past, but you can still see there's a little bit of the fuzziness, and I could almost guarantee that the seeds are probably still connected to that little fuzzy stuff. I'm not sure what it's called, but we're gonna just call it fuzzy stuff. So if you were to get them right at this point, that's probably going to be the easiest to harvest. But even if they are totally dried up like this, then that's fine too. You just have to crack them and then separate the empty balls from the seeds. So like you can see all those falling out there. And then when you're done, you'll just have to go in and pull out the empty pod and shell pieces. Now, the best thing to do if they are already completely dried is to find the end that used to be connected to the plant. Hold that in your hand, and between your two fingers, pull off the little I don't know, like nub at the end, like the blossom end, and then take and just start rubbing it back and forth in between your fingers. Hold on and I'll show you. Alright, so you see how I tore that end piece off and it's kind of opened now. Now you just rub it back and forth in between your fingers gently, and they will all come out. And that will usually leave just one or two in here, and to make it easier, if I have a ton of them like I do now, I will just go ahead and toss this instead of having to get back in here and get all these little pieces out and having to get the one or two little seeds out of it. I will just go ahead and toss it. Now pretty much the only thing that is left to do is for me to finish getting the pods away from the seeds, and I will put these on a paper plate to do that. Sometimes you can like blow away the pods and it makes it a little bit easier, but sometimes you have to pick them out one by one. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get an old seed packet to put these lettuce seeds in, and we'll be about finished. I used one of these old seed packets that I had, and this is how many seeds I have. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's filled up to about right here. So I'd say it's probably about 1,000 seeds, anywhere between like 700 and 1,000 seeds. Now there are a few of the little dried pod pieces in here, but for the most part it's mainly just the seeds. But I will keep that in mind this fall or next year whenever I go to plant these, and I'll be careful not to mistake the dried pods for a seed. Alright guys, well that's going to conclude this video. If you learned anything, please hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more gardening videos like this in the future.